recording? Are we in there?
1, 2, 3.
What's up?
What's happening?
What's going on, my man?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man.
Dude,
Chilling.
I'm glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here. I am very much glad to be here. First of all, this is a dope establishment. I just want to say that. This is a very much a dope establishment. I was very surprised. When I walked up in
You
here.
digging
man.
the vibes, huh?
I am, man. It's a great feeling in this room, man. It's very awesome, bro.
Dude, it's good, dude. We're gonna be a lot of people don't know, but Cap and I are actually gonna be pushing, some other podcasters locally from out of the studio too. So we have big plans to to make our own podcast network and essentially really let some artists from around here and some comedians from around here shine and and do their thing just like we are. So
Hey, man, I'm here for it. I am here for it.
yeah, dude, 100%.
I'm down for it. I apologize for those who are going to be seeing this. I'm like, is he talking to somebody or is it just like he's not really there? I didn't realize I was going to be blending in
You're floating
with the
head.
wall.
You
I
look like
wanted to wear
head.
a color that represent my dark skin. And then when I got here, it's like, oh, now I'm going to be really blending in
The fucking walls are
with the
green
wall.
too.
And this is a horrible type of situation for me. This is what it is.
This
It's
is
okay.
so funny.
This is the things I get to be seen.
Yeah, dude, the shit that we do, we show our ass in public as comedians, right?
That is true. That's
24/7.
That is true.
I feel like I shouldn't have wore this white shirt. You know what I mean? Like I'm regretting now that I'm seeing myself from this angle. How are my man tits, Cap? How are these looking from that angle? I need a bra strap.
Need a bra strap.
There we go.
That
He's not even a comedian. The first person to crack a joke the entire podcast
Exactly.
is the camera guy.
I just like the fact that we have a great big and tall type situation, big and small type situation.
Yeah,
This looks like a bad after school program. Like
it definitely is.
Like you look like you're teaching me something, and I'm just sitting here. This is great.
I'm like, hey, Tommy, don't do heroin.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. And it's just like, oh, I did it. I've already done it already.
Dude, you should stop doing heroin.
Why?
Well, this is the thing. I have some investment properties, and they're right near the Suboxone clinic, and we're really trying to clean the area up. So,
Never heard of Sabostic.
Suboxone is basically 2 sticks of heroin, and then we light that on fire with a flare gun that we stole from a police car.
Oh wow.
And then that's called alligator snare.
Wow.
It's a new thing. The kids are loving it.
The kids are loving it.
Yeah, it's
well,
it's a marketing thing.
It's just great.
Disney's gonna put it in all their drinks next year.
You know what? That is what I can't wait for. I want that in my drink right now.
Big moves, dude.
Big moves.
There's some things happening.
There's some big things happening. I really want that.
Yeah,
I really want that now. Like I want to be a part of that.
dude. I think
I want to be a part of this now.
I'll have my investors email you, and
Thank you.
and then we'll figure this out, dude.
Thank you. I think you tried to direct me away from it, but now I'm like more invested. Like now I'm more invested into this.
Yeah, dude.
That's like wow.
It's gonna happen.
I believe so. It's like a great opportunity to distribute heroin to people. It is great.
I like conducting fake conversations.
It's all right. I am very much comfortable having great fake conversations because hey, I have it all the time. I always have like would you rather or wish you wish or whatever type situation.
This podcast brought to you by heroin.
Yeah, heroin.
Yeah, they're never gonna sponsor this episode.
It's okay. But like this, it's good for the inside, but you eventually die. It's just very much you feel great.
It has to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, given the Yelp reviews,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
heroin-
based on popular opinion alone, it has to be good, dude.
Yeah. Heroin is like sex. It's just like it's good when you're doing it. And then after that, you don't want to face the consequence. It's like a mess. You know, it's just so much stains. There's just a lot going on.
You think that society condemns heroin too much?
Yeah. Yeah. I really do. I think heroin gets a bad name. It's just like it gets a bad name.
It does.
It's just like hey,
around these parts for sure.
I've met somebody who was what's it called? Like when you're a drug addict.
Addict.
You're a functioning addict.
I know lots of them.
I feel that they should have like a functioning addict tour. If you're gonna do drugs, do it responsibly.
Yes.
You should have a time period and when you're supposed to do it.
Well, that's how they do it in Europe. I don't know if you know that, but a lot of people's lives are not destroyed and they're on drugs all the time. And they have like clean facilities where they test your drugs. They give you needles, safe injection sites.
Yeah.
The Europeans are a lot more, not everywhere in Europe, obviously. We know there's bad shit going on in Europe right now, but in certain parts of it, they're very liberal and kind of free when it comes forward thinking when it comes to like, hey, people are gonna do it, let them fucking do it.
Do it. Why not?
Why they don't let them kill themselves with the
Exactly.
street drugs?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? People are fucking
Exactly.
putting powdered sugar in there, and powdered sugar can kill you, dude.
That is true.
Too much powdered sugar will kill a man. I heard that just this much powdered sugar
Dude.
can actually kill like 4 people.
That is true. That is true. Listen, what takes away your teeth faster? Heroin or like that donut? Which one?
Dude, I saw an 84-year-old heroin addict, the best teeth I've ever seen in my life.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, dude, literally his teeth just looked like it looked like they were really white, bro. That's
what it is.
It was nice teeth.
That's literally it. Give him one donut. I dare you to give him a Skittle.
One donut.
Just give him a Skittle.
Yeah, dude.
Done.
Dude, a lot of junkies actually crave candy. I don't know if you know that. I broke you, bro.
A lot.
Finally, bro.
A lot.
All right, now let's talk about the real shit. Yeah, that's right. A lot of junkies crave candy. Too close to home. You got gummy bears in your backpack and shit. He's gonna figure me out. Why are you eating Jolly Ranchers every time?
That got me. That got me.
Put the Mars bar down, friend.
Oh my God. This
is fun. I hope this gets you fired up before the show.
Oh man,
you got to show at Wiley's right after this.
Right after this, man. Pretty pumped.
Dude, you're really out there. You just opened up for Miss Pat. Tell me about that. How was that meeting her, dude?
So first off, meeting Miss Pat around for like the second time I've met this lady.
Okay.
So when she first came, I was not really doing comedy like that. Like I was just doing it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting more good at it and started working more at the craft at it and really understanding the comedy thing. So this I think a couple weeks ago, she was here. And usually people who don't know the behind the scenes of comedy, nowadays they're doing only 2-man shows.
Oh, really?
2-man shows.
I didn't realize that.
So yeah, only doing 2-man shows. So for all those who don't know what 2-man shows are, so it's basically just the feature and the headliner. So basically they take away the host. So basically the feature is being the host / feature, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So when Miss Pat got there, she asked like, "Where's the host?" And I was being the door guy and being the sound guy. She was like, "There's no host." I was like, "No, there's no host at all." And I said, "Let me go find you a host." Because the reason why, listen, Miss Pat is a one comedian, like, you better be funny. Yeah. Or she's going to tell you to get off the stage. Like, I don't care who you are, how big and successful it is. She's a real lady. Like, I know some people may have seen her show.
Oh, she sounds fierce.
Like, she's a fierce woman.
Mm-hmm.
That is who she is. Like, but so I went to the general manager and I was like, "Yo, she's looking for a host." And she was like, "Man, what?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I can do it. I can do it." And she was like, "Well, if you feel like you're comfortable, go ahead and do it." So I went back there and I told her, I said, "Well, I can do the first show.
Yeah.
I can do it." And then she was like, "Okay, well, send out text messages to like who people you may know who are close here, and so they can host like the second show, and then we'll see about the Sunday." I said, "Okay." So first show, man, this is the only time for a long time, for quite a while now, I felt like nervous. Like I felt beads of sweat.
It's natural. You're about to go up in front of one of your heroes.
Exactly. So it's
what
like,
are you gonna say?
So at this point, man, like the first show was like jam packed to the walls. So I just sat majority of these people. So these people already have seen my face. They've already mad because I've sat them in a horrible seat or a seat that they call horrible. So music goes up, man. I hit the stage and all of it becomes a blur. All I know, I opened up with like, I know a lot of y'all thinking like, I just seen this dude and the place fell out. So, and then driving off that, man, I literally did 10 minutes. And when I was done, my cousin who works there, she was like, when you said your name, like, "I'm done, let's get ready to get the show started," people start clapping. Like, and it wasn't like, "Oh, thank God," but it was like a moment of like, "Yo, like you just did good."
Yeah.
So for that moment, man, like it was crazy. It was surreal. Like for me to open up for Miss Pat is like one of the greatest things. Like it's just like one of the greatest things I can say, brother, because she's a blazing icon who people don't know her, but like she's
Yeah.
freaking hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure people who listen to this.
So it's like she's freaking hilarious, man. And like to get up on the stage for the first time, man, to open up for her was awesome. So
Yeah.
like it was very much awesome. Like I've worked with a couple people, but Miss Pat is like kind of like at the top of my list right now. So,
Yeah. Who are some of the other people that you've got to open for or feature for? And then also want to go back to that 2-man show thing real quick. I want to ask you this. So what do you think about that as far as like for guys like us who have been doing it 4 or 5 years and we can do like that 15, 20 minutes. We can we can probably get close to that 30-minute mark if we're more skilled and we could do crowd work and we're working on new things and we can play around and get there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like for guys like us who have been doing it for a little bit, that helps big time.
It does.
What it does though is it knocks out the ability to become a comic in that way that you're gonna have to either grind out at open mics or do independent shows, because if they take away the host on like mainstream improv, Funny Bone, those big chain places, right?
Yeah, man.
If they take that away, that kind of fucks the little guy.
It does.
Let the guys who've been doing it for a little bit, who are a little more experienced, it kind of makes it pop. It kind of it could be a good thing if you get with a good headliner who's your homie, and if it makes sense, then I think 2-man shows is a good idea. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, it man, like when I first heard about it by working at the Funny Bone, it's just like I was like, I don't know about this, like because I'm so used to seeing that 3-man piece of a show. So taking away of that, like a host to me, like is the person who gets it pumped up, who gets it started. Really not much about doing like material. It's just like you're the hype man. You're going to throw in like little snippets of something funny, but you're basically getting it prepared. And then the feature, man, the feature basically comes in with that like, I'm getting you ready. I'm getting you there and I'm getting you there. And then you got the headliner who comes in and brings it all the way home.
Yeah.
So taking away that, I was like, I don't know how it's going to go. But seeing the way the features have come to adapt of where it gives them time to really get their jokes out. And then also it gives them time to live in the moment and actually engage with the audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with the audience, so it allows them to really get themselves like pumped up, and then also they're able to do their bits. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times for hosts, you don't really remember like a host bit. You know what I mean? Like
I almost think it makes sense, dude. It's like as a host, like okay, any comic who can do feature work, who can be on stage for that long and be a feature, they've been doing it long enough to where they can go back. You should have that muscle memory to where you can fuck around, do a little bit of hacky shit, do a little crowd work, talk it out, let them know that they're at a show, and then dig yourself out of that and do a hot 10 or 15, 20 minutes and be funny, have a good time, and you get them warmed up for the big act. Like I like that model. Yeah, I think that's probably the future of comedy.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I really do think it is the future of comedy, because a lot of comedians really do just bring only like hey, this is my guy. Like, I don't really need anything else. I don't really need anything else. So
it's a local kind of guy thing, and I think the comics should be on the road. They shouldn't try to live their whole life as a host and just hang out at a club. And if you're trying to work your regular job and do that for the rest of your life, maybe you're not in this for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that opens up more money, right? Like you're not making a living wage as a feature or right now as a host. You're not making that. So that also gives the actual features a chance to be like, maybe make a little bit of more money because they're doing both jobs. Or maybe they just take it away and the club keeps the money because it's overhead because of whatever. The industry's changing. It always is. They're adapting. But hopefully that does open up more opportunities financially for feature acts. Yeah, man. Because they're doing more work, because they're having to fight harder. It's almost like the difference between college and pro ball or something.
That is true. That is true, man. I really do think it's a good model, unless like you have like a team, of guys you've been working with for years and it just flows better. Yeah. Each his own. But the 2-man show, man, it really makes sense. And then also, man, you're able to, time goes very much more faster. It's not much of a drag out. You know what I mean? You do your thing, then the next minute the headliner's on stage. And if you got like 4 shows for a whole week, it goes fast. Yeah. And it makes time go. It just makes very much better for time consuming, man. So
yeah, I haven't had a lot of club work, which I'm hoping to move more into that too. You know what I mean? The sooner the better. But it is what it is. I just don't really have connects at like the Bones or the Improvs or anything. But I'm moving and shaking and like meeting more people I'm doing a show there next month. I'll be doing Clash of the Comics.
Yeah, man.
So I'll be doing that. But what I was getting at was like these clubs, bro, they're like national touring clubs. So
Yeah.
if they're like, hey, the headliners want to bring their own guy, and they don't really have, not every city has a good comedy scene, so they're just gonna let it fly.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's happening, right? Because it's really the headliners and it's happening from within.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that the clubs are like, hey, fuck this, we don't want to pay this guy.
Exactly.
We don't want to pay the host anymore. No, this is just how it works now. This is coming from within, I do believe.
Yeah, I think it works. It just works better, man. It works better. And like, you know, there are like some headliners who come to town who don't have a feature, you know what I mean? Or anybody. So they're looking for somebody from either close or in the city that they're in. And that gives like an opportunity for a comic to step up and stuff like that. So, you know, and I have realized like a lot of headliners come and they go to different cities and they look for features, like somebody who I can like, okay, Johnny got something. I think I want to work with you more than one time. I want to see how we talk to each other, how we work with each other and stuff like that. So I think for those type of things, man, one, I do believe that it is within because it works. You're able to put your friends on if you're a headliner. So it's just like, just get it, knock it out the bag. And then also for those who are headliners who don't have a feature, you're coming into the cities looking for somebody you can engage with or try to work with or build a camaraderie of. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, because it gets lonely out there on the road.
It does,
for
man.
those dudes, right?
It does
for those girls and dudes. It's like
it does.
They did, yeah. They're not, you know, they're not living like with that sense of friendship. So if they could hang out with actually like level-headed people that are funny, for a couple days while they're in town, like,
yeah, man,
yeah, dude, that's a beautiful thing, you know. And funny people recognize funny people. I almost said real recognize real because my homies have a promotion company called that. And like, but I say that a lot in my head. I'm like, real recognizes real,
does,
like, or talent recognizes talent. You could say that too.
That is true.
There's a lot of different ways to say that. You know what I mean? And I think it's a real moment though. It's like, that's the point about all this like media stuff. We were talking about this earlier, you and I, before we started the show. You used to do videos a lot. Yeah, man. And I was telling you that you should start monetizing that and moving back into that since you do got your swag and you're funny now. Yeah. It's like moving back into that. So like what I'm really getting at, I'm trying to circle back around to is like it's about like our catalog and like becoming immortal. Like we make film of ourselves, we make videos, we make, even if it's silly or funny, and when we die, people don't get it, but who gives a fuck? Exactly. Because this is our expression of our art, of ourself, of what's going on. And like
and we build.
Yeah, dude, you build. And like having like a good catalog, excuse me, whenever something good happens for you, like say Mrs. Pat sees you and she's like, holy fucking shit, this kid destroyed. This is crazy. I want to take it. He's ready. I saw him a couple years ago. Now I'm back in town. This kid he's the feature now. This kid is blowing up. I'm going to fuck with him. Whatever. Just saying that hypothetically. It's like if that happens, like, and people take you on the road, they start tweeting about you. What do people got to go look at? Exactly. Got to build that catalog. You got to have that podcast. You got to have that. I'm not saying that necessarily, but you got to have those videos. You got to have something for them to go back and be able to study you so that you can build those fans and have that marketability. Yeah. It's like there's like a business aspect to comedy that and music and everything else. And it sucks to like have that mentality, but like how do we become financially stable and do this full time without that mentality? That is true. You got to think about it like long term. Like you got to monetize your ideas, bro. That is true. They're yours. You fucking owned them. You thought of them. You're funny on stage. So it's like translate that to the videos and you already have a background in it, bro. Like I think it's a no brainer. Yeah, man. I think you're funny as fuck and you should be making way more content is what I'm getting.
Thank you, man. Like that to me, man, like hearing you say that, like one, bro, is like, I realized like I need to develop more on my content, man, because like doing those videos, man, like they were super fun. It was super relaxing. And like I told you before we started, I was like, I stopped it because I wanted to feel like I wanted to be actually really funny. And when like being on stage, you know what I mean? Not just being a person of like, oh, he makes funny videos and that's it. Like he doesn't do anything on stage. But now, you know, of kind of building myself in this, been doing this for 4 years now. So 4 years for comedy. So it's like this right here, I've done that and now I want to branch out into a whole different other get back into that. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, man, I enjoyed it. I was able to like develop characters and just really keep it going. You know what I mean? So yeah, that right there, that just sparked some like good ideas and like of building more content, man. Because I definitely want people to see what I actually do. Like I just have weird thoughts all the time. You know?
I know, bro, and that's what I'm saying. Like you are just a character. And like, I think that if you started posting consistently, like a lot of times we get down on ourselves because it doesn't work at first.
Yep.
And you just got to be like, fuck my ego, fuck the dumb shit, fuck the views. If you believe in it and you just keep pumping it out there, it's going to resonate. It's going to spark. It's going to, people have to listen. They're like, why the fuck does this dude keep making shows? Why the fuck does he keep making these goddamn videos every week? I don't understand it.
Exactly.
They don't have to understand it. They just got to believe that you believe.
Yeah.
If you believe in yourself, that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else. You know,
truth,
fuck
man.
what they think.
That's the truth.
You know?
That's the truth. You know what? I posed the question to one of my comedian friends, and it was like a good question. You know, back then, we used to, as comedians, we cared a lot more if we got the okay or the head nod from our comrades that's in the comedian game.
Yeah.
And now that a lot of comedians, young comedians, or they develop themselves on social media, and then they build their whole thing up.
Yeah.
And then they do their own show to where like now a lot of people are not looking for like, I don't need you to say I'm cool. I don't need you to tell me.
Everyone tells me I'm cool all the time.
Like, you feel me? So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't need that. And so like, I heard that on a different podcast. Then I asked it to a comedian friend. And he was like, man, he said, that's the era that we're living in.
Yeah.
Like,
that makes so much sense.
it's like, you know, back then you needed comics to say like, no, Johnny.
The gatekeepers were the validation.
Yeah. They validated.
We don't have to have that because we have social media now. Oh my God,
like
dude.
you really don't have to do that anymore because
damn, dude, that's just so heavy.
It really is. Like I heard it and I was like, bruh, I have to ask somebody else about this. So it's like looking at that, you don't need that anymore because you're creating.
You're willing to do it.
Yeah,
right? That's all it takes. It's the will.
That's literally it, man.
Yeah,
that's literally it. Like
that's the difference.
It is a difference. It is a difference. Like that's what I truly believe. Like a lot of people. Because I've always gotten into arguments with people involving like the social media guys who have now actually blown up and they sell out freaking comedy tours all around the world.
Dude.
And they get upset. They don't understand like, why is this like, why? Like they made a video and now they're doing comedy. Yeah, they say the same jokes over again or whatever. But it's like, they don't need your okay.
Yeah,
like
they figured it out.
They got up every single day, made something stupid, and then they realized like, yo, I have a comedy club that's calling me.
Yeah.
They want me to get on stage. I have no idea. So now I'm going to step into another avenue. I'm going to work on becoming a stand-up comic, develop an act, work with people who actually can write or help me tell a joke or craft a joke. And then I'm going to get back on the funny bone stage or the improv stage or whatever.
Yeah.
Do about 20 or 30 minutes. Even though I may be the headliner, may joke around for a little bit.
What's called the closer now.
Exactly.
This guy's going to be closing the show.
Yeah.
He's a social media personality.
Exactly.
It works.
And then they work, people leave satisfied, and then like, dude, I'm doing it. And you continue to work. So it's like the gatekeepers are no longer needed at this time.
It's kind of like music if you can compare it to like the fact that they used to be like 16 bars and songs and now it's like 12 or 8.
Yeah.
And you still really like it. It's still a hot song. It just gets to the point faster.
Yeah. It's just like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, just how like a lot of people are more going independent than actually signing with a record label. Like it's pointless. Yeah. I'd rather just put it forth myself and just make it.
If you have a good team and like you know how to do marketing and you know where to put your money, you put it in the right places, and sometimes it's about luck and also just right place, right time.
Yeah.
But preparation has to meet the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's just what you were saying. It's like that makes sense to me. It's like, why not be good? Why not be good at it for when the calling comes?
Mm-hmm.
You can fucking have your moment and it feels good. It feels like you belong there.
Yeah.
Like I get imposter syndrome sometimes too, sitting in this seat. Sometimes this is only the third show I've done out of this like legitimate recording studio, and I started this in my house, and sometimes I'm still like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
It's like it takes me time to figure out why other people are believing in me, and I'm like, okay, it's because I'm crazy and I believe in myself enough to where I guess other people are starting to recognize it, and it's like, and now I'm almost like I have this thing in my hands where I can start to help my friends and help other people and bring other people on, and like I get to showcase more than myself. It's
And I think, you know what, man?
this is good. We're getting to the wire. You're going to have to get out of here soon.
No, you're good,
I know
man.
you got to be on stage
But
soon.
what you just said, man, is something that I can reflect back to with the Miss Pat thing, where you said like helping putting your friends on.
Yeah.
Like that. Like after I did the first show, like I said, like I called two of my guys, man. Shout out to Scott Mallory and Deandre Allen. But I called those two guys because one, they were closest to me, and I knew like, well, they're probably in this vicinity somewhere. Like I knew one of them was already making his way there, and the other one was like doing something, but he was close. So, like after I got in touch with both of them, I talked to Tay and I talked to Scott, and I was like, "Yo, such and such is gonna host this one, but yo, just see if you can talk to the feature or the headliner. She can work some shit out for you, right?" So, my dude Tay got blessed with the hosting gig. And then Scott was just being there, and he knew the feature because he used to live back in Chicago. He knew like part of the music scene. He knew a whole lot of stuff. So he went back there and talked to Miss Pat directly just by knowing the feature. You know what I'm saying? And then like she was like, just because you drove here and you wanted to just be here in the moment, like I want you to go on stage and get like do 5 minutes. So like
That's so fucking cool, dude.
So like to have like my friends who I call my friends, man, like to get on stage and do that. You know what I mean? And so like to me, I'm all about helping people. You know what I mean? Like I'm all about, even though I'm a comic, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be on stage too. I want to be doing it and killing it as well. But I'm not afraid to say, yo, I think Johnny gonna kill this. Like,
dude, yeah, because it feels really good to see people that you love fucking do cool shit.
Exactly.
It's like more rewarding sometimes than having your joke hit.
Exactly. It's like a better story. Like I don't know if you listened to Kevin Hart's Comedy Gold Mines.
No, is that a podcast?
That's a podcast.
I love Kevin Hart. I was watching his shit way back when he was just talking about Heartbeat Productions and all this shit.
So he did an interview with Eddie Griffin, and Eddie Griffin, he made Undercover Brother, and Kevin Hart was like, dude, that's like one of the dopest movies, man. Like for us, like it's a cult. Like even though it may not have been great in box office or whatever, but to us, like
hilarious movie.
But that movie is hilarious.
Great fucking movie.
It is. So. And he asked, like, dude, how did you get that? He said, Eddie Griffin later told him, he said, they offered that to Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy told them, that's Eddie Griffin's movie.
Holy shit.
It's not mine. And he was like, if it wasn't for Eddie Murphy, I would have never had that movie.
Dude, what's crazy is if it wasn't for Eddie Griffin, I probably wouldn't do stand-up. He was one of my earlier influences because my mom was a big fan of him, and he had this special at the time.
Mm-hmm.
She watched it over and over. It's called Dysfunctional Family.
Oh my God.
When he was really starting to blow right at that time. And that's like when Cat Williams was in his heyday too. Like probably late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, maybe probably early 2000s. But he, in this movie, he like was like a, just a regular like poor kid, but he danced and shit. Yeah. And like it was showing him going back to his high school and like just seeing him as a kid and then showing how he like got into comedy. It was a little bit of a documentary about his life and his family. Yeah. And dude, like literally like that's like my 20, 25 minutes or whatever. It's like about me and my family and about growing up and shit. Mm-hmm. And like in a weird way, like he just influenced me in such a powerful way that, like in the way that I write, the way that I tell jokes and shit, and the way that I like get visceral and talk about real shit but make it funny. Yeah. Just dude, I don't know. I just can't say enough about how big of a fan. I'm like fucking sucking his dick right now. It's for whatever reason. I just like got a fucking whiff of Eddie Griffin's balls. I was just like, I can't stop, bro. It's so good. It's aroma. It's great. It just made me like visualize as a kid, like, oh man, like I want to be like that. I want to go back like to my high school and talk to kids and like show them that like they can do shit too. Like it just made me think of that even as a child. Like it put that in me where like I wanted to become successful to help people like he did. That was cool to me. Bro, that is awesome. Like, dude, before I have a question for you, but for the going back to school thing, man, I had I think it's like some months ago, I had a chance to go back to my high school. And one of my old teachers, she was like, nerd alert, I was a Muse Machine person. What's a Muse Machine? So Muse Machine is like musicals. You help out. You like in the backstage, man. That's cool. I did some classes in college for that. Yeah. So yeah, it's like a stagehand. Yeah. There you go. Grip. They call it a grip if you're doing camera work. Stage hands. Like you had to do a part of like
prep, like what called pep rallies. You had to do all the cheers. So I was a part of that. All right. Here are all the jokes coming now. But so my teacher at the time, she had me a part of that, and then I graduated, and then she called me back like some months ago, and she was like, I want you to come back and talk to the kids, talk to the freshmen.
That's so cool, bro.
And she was like, Deandre, like you've been doing a lot. You've been doing shows, man. You've met a lot of people. You can talk to them and like let them know what you've been up to. So I went back. Going back to my old high school was like weird because like I was already waiting to get in trouble or just waiting to hear a principal yell at me. But
was everything smaller than you remember?
Yeah, everything was smaller. Like, and then like everybody is like, these kids now are different. Like I'm 25, but it's like they different.
Yeah,
very different. And then like I went upstairs, back into the freshman hallway, and then like I saw the line of all the graduates that have already graduated, and they like had on like some came from doing an oil change, like some had like they do hair now. They're a nurse. One guy fully walked in with all leather. It was like
what the fuck?
All leather on.
Like a welder or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he was just like he had all leather on.
There's like a BDSM.
Dude, it was like
class.
Bro, it was like 78 degrees. Like it was a hot day. Like it was a hot. He had all leather on.
Jeans, leather pants. I mean,
leather pants, leather jacket.
What the fuck?
He had like dark sunglasses on, and she looked at me. She said, "Yeah, he's in the army." It was like, this is what they're allowing in the army. But I was like, all right. Like he was so cool. Like it made no sense why he was there. She was like,
hey, dude, you're wearing an entire animal.
Like,
what the fuck is going on?
Then she told me like he just recently graduated. He just graduated.
Get him out of here!
Like
this is a speech for the kids. Like he's 29. The fuck is Billy still doing here, dude?
Like he was so like everything he had on was leather. Like I was like, what is happening? So
he's like, you'll never catch me.
Exactly. It was like
if anyone tries to throw him out of school, he covers them in grease.
Like,
he's like, tackle me now.
Then like she told me like he went into a room and like talked about guns. I was like, wow, school killer.
Yo,
that's what we're doing.
Yo,
we just inspired.
They need to get him on the other side of the country into a camp immediately.
Exactly.
A boot camp.
Like we just inspired like some school bully to shoot up a school. Like that's what we just did. But for me, like I had a chance to talk to the freshmen.
Was it a trench coat?
No, it actually was like a fitted leather jacket.
Okay, guns are getting smaller.
Exactly, it really is. It really is, dude. What I mean, everything was leather. I was like, I don't get this. Like, why are we okay with this? But
damn, bro.
Yeah,
that's funny, dude.
And she was like, yeah, he's in the army now. Like, he's in the army? Like, that is.
He's our valedictorian. He's actually going to be opening up for you. He's your host. All right, Billy, bring him out.
Exactly. And apparently, like he killed with the kids. Of course, he's a killer.
Oh, he kills around here. Yeah,
he kills.
We got that idea.
Exactly. It's the leather. It's the leather.
It's the leather. It says it all.
Yeah, exactly. But
oh shit.
I went and talked to the freshmen, man, and so like talking to them and like seeing like these kids now like are very much disengaged. Like when you try to hear like somebody trying to come to you and talk to you. So it's like I went to back in my mind, like I was y'all. Like I was literally y'all. Like, dude, I've had a chance to mature, grow, develop, and all that stuff. So it's like I went into their mindset as a freshman. I was like, I know y'all don't care. That was my open speech. I was like, I know you don't care to hear me talk right now. I was like, how many people have you heard today? It was like 7. I was like, yeah, I'm the 8th person that you really don't want to hear. Like that's literally it. Like you don't want to hear like if you graduate the superstar, like, no, you don't want to hear that.
You're the 8th speaker of the day?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I would have just pissed my pants like Adam Sandler. Aren't you guys, everybody knows that if you pee your pants, you're cool. If I get arrested.
Exactly.
Like, get him the fuck out of here. Billy arrests me.
And then Billy
Citizens arrest, he has handcuffs. Like,
they're
I
all
could have told you that. They're leather. Leather handcuffs.
They're still leather handcuffs.
Dude, how the fuck did you get leather handcuffs?
Jesus, you know what's bad? You know what's bad? This is how
He's
know.
just eating beef jerky. You're like, dude, do you own a cow farm?
Do you know how bad? First of all, the public school system sucks. Like you have to go through metal detectors. They allowed that guy to go through a metal detector
with his handcuffs.
They would like
no, Billy, you go through the back door.
Like, oh yeah,
it reminds me of you ever seen that movie with Robert De Niro and Edward Norton? It was a really good movie. I think it was called Heist.
Yes.
It's a great movie.
Dope movie.
It reminds me of that, right?
It's a
like
dope
that's
movie.
Billy. He's just like humdrum, and he's just like, let him through. The metal detector is going off. It's Billy.
It's fine.
Wave him in.
He's fine. He's okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's like fucking, stealing a diamond and shit from the basement of the school.
Exactly, man.
He's like exhuming a body or some shit.
Exactly. But I like going back to talk to them, right, man? So it's like I talked to him and like opening up with that kind of got him like, yo, he's like one of us. Like he gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it. And then it was like, if you're a comic, like they always say like, say something funny.
Yeah.
So I said something funny. And then she was like, oh my God, you're legit. You really are funny. And she was like, so name some people you've worked with. Like, I bet it's like people we don't know. And I was like, okay, all right. I was like, I've worked with DC Young Fly. The Room lost it. Like just,
Yeah, they all follow him on social media.
Like
He's one of the biggest things on Instagram, bro.
I was like, I've worked with DC Young Fly. Like
Yeah.
I've like
Huge.
I've talked to him. Like it's happened. It was just like, oh, whatever. Like, no. It was like, well, okay, what other shows have you done? Well, I've toured with like 2 guys from Wild and Out. No, like, dude.
Yeah, dude.
So it's like hitting those moments of achievements is cool. But also, man, like if you want to reach like the youth, man, like you gotta connect with them. So
Yeah.
like I made something. I connected with everybody in that room that day, like from the students also to the teachers, because teachers are comedy heads as well. But I very much made that connection with all of them. So it's like in this type of industry, man, we have to stick to the avenue of making connections with people, and then also being real.
Yeah.
Just being real. Like kids, as you say, man, like as you said, real recognize real. Like kids know nowadays, like, dude, you're a piece of crap.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear how you work a 9 to 5. My dad's already going through this. Or where is my dad? Who cares?
Yeah.
But it's a moment of like, hit them where you are, man. And then like for you to tell that story, how Eddie Griffin went back and like did all that. It's just like, dude,
It was powerful, dude. I'm sure it was for you.
it was a powerful and a moving thing. Like, cause bro, like a backstory is like, I had all my credits, right? But I did not pass my OGT. So I could not walk with my class, bro.
Damn.
So like technically I graduated in
Yeah.
2015. Like
Yeah.
everything was there, but I didn't pass my test. So
Yeah.
that destroyed me. So and then, but fun fact, I can sing as well. So it's like I can sing. So I was supposed to sing R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly. Glad that didn't happen.
Glad that didn't happen.
Glad that didn't happen. But that's one of the best bullets I've dodged.
Dude, I showed my son the Space Jam,
Yeah.
the old Space Jam movie before we watched the new one. I was like, you guys need to see what Space Jam is, and then we'll watch the one with LeBron, right?
Yeah.
But my son loved that song. Like, so he's going around the house for like 2 weeks, like, I believe I can, and he's fucking singing it. And I'm like, dude, this is the wrong idea. I was like, this is not your hero. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, don't sing that song.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's just don't.
Don't sing that song.
There's just don't. But it's such a
You know who else didn't believe they could fly?
Who?
All those women that he had locked in his basement.
That is true. That is
so
true.
evil.
That is true, but it's very much
Oh,
true.
it's so true.
It is
but
very much true. But
Roberto.
Roberto.
Dude, what's crazy is it's only illegal if Roberto does it, but Amazon's doing the same shit with their employees. They're like pimping them out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying they're pimping them out, but this is what happened. They're actually this is kind of wild. So I watched this news story the other day. Russell Brand actually made a story about it on his YouTube channel. I'm an avid follower of him. So there's this new program that Amazon is implementing. It's like a social media program within the employee system.
Cool.
Where they can talk to each other and stuff like that, right? During work hours, and it's fine. But they also have this AI technology incorporated into it that flags people for certain words like bathroom, slave labor, what's another one? Living wage, unionize, or union. So these words will trigger a flag, and then you'll get actually blacklisted, is what they call it within the system. This is actually language from the actual document of the technology that they're putting into place at Amazon. You get blacklisted, and what that does is, hey, guess what? You can't write any other employees. You're like on restriction. So you can't talk to anybody else, but you can still do your job within the system, but you can't talk to other people if you use words like that. Amazon spent $4 billion last year, bro. Just last year on anti-unionist lobbyists. So these are people who it's their job to make sure that the worker bees, like, you know, us
Yeah.
or whatever, our parents, regular average Joes,
Right.
it's to make sure that these average Joes don't get wise to the situation and start trying to colonize and fucking start trying to organize themselves. Like, you're not supposed to do that. And that's what R. Kelly did.
That is exactly. That was like the best way to put that.
Thank you.
That was
I've been
like
thinking about it all day.
that was like
I
the
didn't know that
best-
Robert Kelly was going to be like the butt of the joke or like the way to make sense of all of it.
That makes perfect sense.
But that shit scares the fuck out of me, dude. Like, because if big corporations start taking our liberties and like that becomes like the mainstream and the main way to live is like all these big, and it's gonna,
yeah.
right? All the jobs that our kids are gonna have, we don't even know what that's gonna be yet because they haven't been created.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be created and they're gonna branch off of these things that
Yeah.
we're currently, giving all of our money to everyone.
Yeah.
These
And
big-
that's how it feels to be a girl trapped in the closet by R. Kelly.
fuck, dude, you're making too much sense right now.
And that's how it is as a corporate. That's how it is.
You know what I think, bro? I think you're gonna be a star for real. I
Thank
think
you,
you're a
man.
fucking funny dude, and
Thank
I
you,
think
man.
you're a good personality.
Thank you.
Dude, for real. You just need to start making more shit.
You know what? And I'm taking heed of that, man. Like
out
that.
there.
That really just spoke to me, man. I appreciate
Having that connect with the funny bone, bro, you got to utilize that. I know it's great working there, and you get
Yeah.
to see a lot, and that's good too. Just seeing the business of it is good, but
Yeah.
excuse me, God, this fucking nasty ass energy drinks keep making me burp.
Rowdy.
I'm getting rowdy. I'm all jacked up. Use it to your advantage, man. Don't fucking, don't I'm stoned. Don't take everything I say serious. But for real, dude, I don't know. I just think you got a lot of good qualities, and I
Thank
think
you.
you're a funny comic, and that's
Thank
what
you.
counts for me, bro.
Thank you.
You know,
man.
like I know this is gonna sound fucked up. I only try to make friends with other like funny people in the business because I want to hang out with people who are gonna be in the business.
Yeah.
I want to make friends with people who are gonna fucking quit or that
Exactly.
aren't crazy like me and don't believe in this grandiose bullshit.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be famous one day. I'm gonna quit my job and be a fucking stand up.
That's
right?
what I'm gonna do.
That's what we tell people
That is what we tell people.
because we're gonna manifest it.
Dude, listen. My goal, man. I just want to travel the world, making people laugh, man. Like being on stages to make people laugh, to make people feel good, man, and just to do it with friends, man.
Yeah.
Like, just to do it with friends, see the world.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
Do me a favor because we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
I believe you can do it. I know I'm gonna do it. Start thinking about other ways to make income too, and not just stand up. Like start thinking about different, like average millionaire, the average successful person, right? Who's living like that has several forms of income, and just start pulling the strings, bro. I know you got ideas. I know you got stuff going on. I already know, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man. I appreciate it.
I'm telling you, bro. You're gonna be somebody in the comedy game, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Just take your time and just keep doing what you're doing, bro, because you're definitely making it happen.
Hey, man. I receive all that, and I'm claiming it, man. Like it's gonna happen. Here's a question for you though.
Yes.
Who are your? It can be comedians or movies, whatever. Who are your comedian influences?
You could definitely, if you want to say movies too, that's a good thing. That's a good question. That's a great question. Nobody ever says that. They're like, who's your favorite stand-up? And I'm like, well, there's a lot. Like, I love Richard Pryor and George Carlin. It's hard. I love Patrice O'Neill,
Yeah.
Greg Giraldo,
Yeah.
a lot of dead people. I'm a fan of
dead-
Joe Rogan,
All the greats.
Tom Segura. I like these guys before they were super big, and I know that sounds shitty and cliche, but like that's why they're the top of the business because they are who they are, and they're very funny. I think Chad Daniels was an early inspirer of mine. Fucking Chappelle. How can you do it without saying Chappelle?
He's among us.
Yeah, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, he lives in our city.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy if we start getting this podcast popping enough, like all these different networks of podcasts? Maybe someday he could be in the studio on one of these shows.
But the one thing I love about
We're gonna speak it into existence.
it's gonna happen, man. The one thing I love about Ohio, like we love Chappelle.
Yeah,
We love
he's the
Chappelle,
greatest living comic.
but we love him like in a place of like, dude, let him be him. Like
Yeah.
we're good. Like
Yeah.
we don't have to like. He's basically like that famous cousin that comes around and everybody's like, oh, it's like no, that's just my cousin.
Yeah,
It's not like a big humongous deal. You know what I mean? Because we have normalized him. You know what I mean? Like
the Midwest is a cool place because everyone's so humble here.
yeah.
It is. It's like a lot of. It's like people who fight through winters and shit.
Exactly.
People with thick fucking skin.
Exactly. It's
It takes a lot to live here.
yeah, like
And reacclimate every time. We're all nuts.
Exactly.
We got seasons, baby.
exactly.
Chappelle's probably crazy too. He just fits in here.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
He's
like,
a funny guy. He made me think differently about life and about comedy and about like just like my thought process as a boy.
yeah,
And that's dangerous. Having that
is.
kind of look what the fuck I'm doing now because of people like him.
yeah. Listen, man.
It's weird. It could be a bad consequence. We don't know where this is going to go.
we don't
yet.
know, but you know, man, he did a lot. Like he did a lot that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And to us, before we were just like, he's freaking crazy. And now that he has returned,
Yeah.
and really has dropped gems of like, this is why I did what I did, and this is why I do what I do, because it works for me. Like I don't need this the validation from Netflix.
Yep.
Netflix wants my validation.
Validation found him, dude.
Like Netflix wants me.
Yeah.
I didn't call them.
Yeah.
They called me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a moment of like, that's where, as I said again, like you don't need like that gatekeeper anymore, man. You just make that opportunity for yourself to where it's like, nah, I'm gonna go call Johnny. Like Johnny.
Dude, he's one of those people who was doing it before we knew it was possible.
Yeah, man.
He like had it in his head, like, I'm not gonna let anybody be my boss before like social media and all. That's why he's the GOAT.
He is.
He's a GOAT because he
is.
was like the first real independent comic.
He was, man.
You know?
He really was, man. Like
Not only do people say he's the best, if you don't say he's the best, what you do is you put him up there with the best.
you do.
Everyone does and they have to, but when you hear other big name comics talking about him, they're like, yeah, dude, I would see Chappelle at like Johnny's Flunny Blarn in Iowa doing
Yeah.
a show for 50 people when he was at his height of his shit. And like he wasn't advertising it. He wasn't like, he would just show up and do shows still and be a comic. And that was, I think that was his outlet. That's where it fucked him up because he was like, yeah, I'm on TV and all that. But like as regular people coming up, right, we're still like regular people. And I think there's like a disconnect for him where he was like, okay, I'm famous and I'm blowing up because I'm on TV, but I still don't have to tell people that I'm at this club. I can just show up and still be a comic. But then like that gap started getting too big and people started knowing him and he started getting so well known that I think it fucking made him snap. He was like, I'm just a regular dude. Get the fuck off my dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, fuck it, I'm done. It's like he had to wash his hands of it because he couldn't do what he loved anymore.
Yeah.
He couldn't just show up to Willie's Flunny Blarn.
Yeah.
Couldn't do
he
it.
couldn't do that anymore. Like that basically what it was, man. And then like when for us, like he's always been doing comedy. We just didn't know about it.
Right.
But when he made, as we will say, the triumphant return, when he came out with Netflix and he did all that, and when he came back, man, it was just like he was back to, this is what I love to do. I'm taking control of, like, I love to do comedy. I'm doing stand-up. I'm doing this. I don't care about the shows. I don't care about any of that. But it's the moment of, like, this is what I'm doing it for, man. Like, I'm normalizing myself to show you people, like, I'm normal, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm in a town hall meeting. The fact that I saw Dave Chappelle on Channel 7, a town hall meeting about Yellow Springs, I was like, dude.
I took my kids there this morning.
Yeah, so it's just like, man, like, that right there is like, he's a normal person. Like,
Yeah.
I paid taxes. Like,
Dude, doesn't that town have such a fucking great energy?
it does.
You can tell why people, like, there's a lot of famous authors and shit, or just, like, movie stars who actually have houses out there.
Yes.
People don't talk about it.
They don't.
It's this small little cult out there. Like, and not in a bad way. In, like, a cool, like, you get to still live in small town America way.
Dude,
That's a fun thing.
It's a fun thing. Like, dude, I worked at the YSO, the radio stations down there. Like, dude, I've walked down the streets, like, dude, like, nobody bothers you. Everybody's like happy to see you, like engaging in conversation.
Yeah.
It's like our own little vibe of a place, man.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to my kids about. They were like, everyone's so nice, Daddy. They're letting us pet their dogs on the trail.
Yeah.
And it's just like everyone's saying hello and they're smiling. It's a cool fucking place to be.
It is, man.
You know,
it
I went
is.
to high school in a neighboring town, Fairborn. So I was like right down the street from all the parks, all the national parks all the time. And just walking through the town itself. They got a lot of great food, cool little shops, dude.
They do.
It's just a fucking cool vibe. It's a vibe.
It is a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It is a vibe.
It draws you in.
It very much is. Like,
You ever drank from the spring?
I have not.
You should do it, bro. Oh my God. All right. I know you have to leave soon.
Yeah.
My watch died. What time is it? How long have we been going, Cap?
It's 6:26.
Huh? damn, bro, it's easy to talk to you.
Thank you.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
I know, not at all. It's but
Some people are better at talking than others because this is like a
true.
game. It's like we have to lyrically like pass the ball back and forth.
That is
And
true.
Conversation is hard.
it is built on chemistry, man. If you click with somebody, sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Like, all right, so your favorite thing is, all right.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like 30 minutes in and I'm like, so this has been a fun episode. I've drained you of all your humanness. This is what it's like to be me.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of this studio.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
for anyone who's did a 30-minute episode, I love you.
It's
Thank
okay.
you for coming. Thank
It's
you for
okay.
sharing.
He
I appreciate you for coming on.
he found you very interesting.
Get the fuck out of this. No,
You about to get so many mad DMs like, so that's how you feel about me, John?
part 2. We're gonna start making this like a wrestling match. Like they kick the shit out of me on the podcast. I'll still put it out, bro. That's views.
That is true.
That is not a fucking invite for anyone who wants to punch me in the fucking face.
This is not the Oscars.
I'm a good human being.
This is not the Oscars. Let's not do that.
It's not.
But here are my comedian like influences,
Yes.
stuff like that. So mine, one is Bernie Mac. Dude, the way he commands the stage, and the way like
fearless.
he had no fear at all. Like he's one of the comics that I watched as a little kid just take the air out the room and then like have people just laughing at stuff you should probably not be laughing at.
Yeah.
But he was that dope of a comic. So him will be like my number one. Like my 2 would be, man, Eddie Murphy, man. Like Eddie Murphy was the guy.
Raw or Delirious? If you had to pick.
If I had to pick, man, Delirious was more like raw Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And
it was like when he was really a comic still.
yeah, and then Raw was like
touring all the time.
Raw, you can tell like it's very scripted. I'm gonna hit my jokes at this point.
Well, he had writers
Exactly.
and stuff. At that point, he was so big. It
Yeah.
was just like they're selling tickets because he's Eddie Murphy.
Exactly.
He wasn't like at the clubs all the time and shit, right?
Exactly.
He could have been. I'm not taking that away from him. I
Yeah.
don't know Eddie. I would love to see him do another special. They're offering him a lot.
And he's 60 years old, people.
He's saying no though.
yeah.
Seinfeld. I don't know. Seinfeld did one.
He did.
He came back and did one.
He did.
It wasn't very good. I don't know what to say. It wasn't comedy now.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't.
It's
But
different.
It was
Comedy's
for
different.
His audience.
Yes, and for that nostalgic thing that he did, it was beautiful and powerful. And I also don't hate his show or anything.
No.
Like I would never come down on a comedian for anything that they're successful for. Like if you find your thing and you find your audience, dude, that's fucking dope. Because what that does is it helps us.
It does.
It helps people like us who are actually funny in the business. It gives us like a little bit of a spark or like a little boost where we're like, oh man, there's hope that we can be successful too, doing the silly, stupid dick jokes that we do.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
That's very true. Like Eddie Murphy is one of my influences.
That's so cool.
The next one was Richard Pryor, man.
Richard Pryor, dude.
A lot of people would look at me crazy, and I say Richard Pryor because I'm 25 years old. But I grew up with older people.
Yeah.
So my mom was, born and raised in the church. That's where I come from. So, but my mom was a religious woman, but she was a woman that still is. She's a woman that she understands real life from whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just like she didn't hide that away from us. Like Richard Pryor was like one of her favorite comics. And to see my mom laugh at Richard Pryor, man, and I was like, what is this dude doing? And for me, the first one that I saw when I was little was live at Sunset Strip.
And that's the one where he's talking about blowing himself up with the crack pipe.
Yeah.
That's the first one I saw too. You're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're about the same age. That would have came out when that was like was that in the early 90s?
Either early 90s or late 80s.
Late 80s, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the first time I saw it. And like the bit that always stands out to me is when he told the story about going to like the safari in the jungle. And he talked about the lions, and he acted out the lion.
Dude, Richard Pryor is stand up today.
Yeah.
I truly believe that like we haven't got past that threshold. Whatever Pryor did and figured out, which was actually Mooney's writing.
Exactly.
So whatever we have today is just a product of Mooney's writing, which was just edgy as fuck.
Yeah.
Stuff you couldn't say on TV, you still really shouldn't say.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the line that you used to not be able to say, now they're like, hey, you shouldn't say this.
You shouldn't say this.
Couldn't, now you shouldn't. right?
Yeah.
But it's the same game, and it's the same. You have to be like marketable. It's clean-ish, right?
Yes.
You have to be.
Yes.
Because that's just what the masses want. Like nobody, like we like dirty jokes when we come to the club, but when we see your special, we want it to look professional. Like like John Mulaney. It's not that he doesn't like use the F word in his bit or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just like such a level of professionalism that comedy has changed. So now we're competing with guys in suits.
Yeah.
Whether we're just guys in t-shirts or not, that's our competition.
That is. That is like
At the end of the day, we got to make it big.
That's I think
show.
for him, and then also for Pryor, man, he was a guy who told the truth.
Yeah.
Like a lot, like you have to become bold on stage. Like we were talking, like just telling personal stories, and to see some people may laugh at your joke, and it's like, dude, that really happened.
Yeah.
And for me, like Pryor told the truth. Like when I finally got older and I watched Richard Pryor live in concert, and he told the story about how he shot his wife's, how he shot the car, like he shot his wife's car,
shooting the car, the lion bit. But dude,
Right.
the one that I remember is when he has the match.
Oh yeah,
and he said that's what he looked like. He said, I saw your guys' jokes about me. I saw the fucking tablet.
yeah.
No, who the fuck says that? Who the fuck? He broke the fourth wall.
Yeah. Like, bro,
Right?
I saw what you guys said.
I saw it. They're like, people are like, what do you mean?
And then
he saw the news too?
Then
Famous people see the news?
Exactly. And then he told, like, let me tell the joke of what I've heard. And he flicks the match and like, this is Richard Pryor running down the street.
And it wasn't even his joke. It really was a joke that was going around, but he made it his own joke.
Yeah.
Everybody else wrote it.
Yeah.
It was a street joke.
It was.
And he's like, no, this is you're going to make a joke about me? It's my joke. Fuck you guys.
And really what it was.
It was
man.
like reverse psychology on the world.
It was, man. But like you just hit the nail on the head. Like he broke down the fourth wall. Like, yo, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like I see, even though I've told you I've done drugs, I've done this, I've done that, but let me show you. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I know what you're talking about. And like Richard Pryor was that guy, man, like who all of us strive to be. Like you have to be truthful. You have to be vulnerable on stage. Like you have to just be real. And that's who he was. It wasn't no gimmick. It wasn't no like
well, he didn't have the disconnect like Chappelle did.
No.
It's like Pryor talked about the money like it was just a thing. He was like, yeah, I got the money. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like he couldn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, but it came to Chappelle so fast that I think it fucked him up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think you can compare those two a lot though.
You can.
You know what I'm saying? It's like JFK to Lincoln or something like that in the comedy game. It's like those two guys were just, they were breaking down so many walls and they were like putting their friends on. They were building the scene. Like Pryor was the Comedy Store. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a big part of it. He's so much so that he was even dating the owner, Pauly Shore's mom.
Yeah.
Like they had a relationship for a long time. It's like he was running that spot, bro. Yeah. And that was comedy on the West Coast and inward, as far as people would travel. You know, you were getting like, they knew what worked and what worked was Pryor. Yeah. So everybody was like, be like this. Yeah. For years. So much so that it hasn't really changed.
It really hasn't. Like,
it hasn't really, unless you're doing like woke, like there's weird different comedy now that I don't so much understand.
But it
is what it is. But that's the only difference. Yeah. And I think that's why people are doing it, because it's different. And it works because it's different. It's like a breath of fresh air in a way.
Yeah, here's a question that's popped in my head. Like, just to say like how Richard Pryor talked about the money and then how Dave Chappelle talked about money. Do you feel like Chappelle took more control than Pryor did? Like,
yeah, look at Pryor. He fucking being all fucked up, and he did a lot of drugs and shit. Yeah, he let it get to him.
I think,
but it made him stay humble, which sucks.
It did.
Maybe it's not good to be humble.
I think it made him one like, yeah, it humbled him. But like once he like came down with MS, as everybody knows, but he came out with MS, like he became human. You know what I mean? Like a normalized guy, because he was such this phenom. He didn't, they say like he still did jokes while he was in the wheelchair or on a cane, so stuff like that. But he became normalized, and he was allowed to see so much of what he's done. You know what I mean? Like he broke down a lot of barriers. He broke down a lot of things of breaking down that clear wall. Like he was a black man talking about white people in front of white people. Like this is how you guys walk. Like this. develop that, and like you would get killed for saying stuff like that. Like,
well, it broke down the barriers of racism.
It did.
It changed the way we talk to each other now. Like as comics, more so because people still get a little weird.
Yeah.
But as comics, like we talk to each other like the way that Richard Pryor was talking to the audience.
Yeah.
Because we know that we're joking.
Yeah.
There's a difference. And he made, dude, that's a great thing. I never even really thought about that. He made the distinction between like being funny and just noticing something about another race.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to me because I don't see it. It's like if you don't see someone's hair all the time and then you see it and you're like, it looks like this to me, but to you it's just hair because it's just been your hair.
Yeah.
It makes it different to me, and that's why I'm like funny and observing it or trying to make a joke about it. That's what Pryor did, bro. Like he made that okay. I never even thought about that.
He did. Like he made it.
He broke down a barrier for race to be able to talk about each other openly and for us to be cool and think that it's funny.
Yeah, and it's like the main thing. It's not about like black against white or white against white, whatever. You know what I mean? It's about we're all funny.
Yeah,
we're weird people. Like we're all weird people. Like if we have not realized that, like we all are the same. We just do weird crap. Like we all are the same. We just do it differently.
Yep.
That's it.
Oh yeah, completely, 100%. Every human life form is just all we are is the same thing, but we're cut with like whatever our biological and physiological differences are.
Yes.
Right. So whatever rock you landed on and whatever dick you came out of, those two things dictate a lot.
It does.
Of where you come from, but. Dude, what do you make of all this? Like, dude, this could be such a long conversation. I feel like I could talk to you so long.
Oh yeah.
You got what time is it?
My watch 6:37.
You 6:30. So you got to be on stage in like less than an hour. Yeah. I'm gonna let you go, and someday we're gonna talk about like what all this is. Like if it's religion or if it's fucking science. I don't really know, but I like exploring the idea of what all this shit is. Trying to figure out life.
But before I leave,
okay,
I'm gonna drop my last person of like comedy of influence.
Okay,
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
The singer?
No, not Jerry Lee Lewis. No. He married his cousin.
he was a devil.
He was a great person.
You ever listen to the fucking like the demonic videos about that guy?
Jerry Lee Lewis?
All the people around, which actually Drake's dad was his drummer.
That makes so much sense.
Did you know that?
Did not know that. Fun fact of today.
He's in the crew.
Fun fact. But
he's in the group. But people used to say that Jerry Lee Lewis would like drop acid and talk to himself for hours and tell all of his bandmates that he was the devil and he was possessed by Satan himself.
That is perfect.
That's the Great Balls of Fire song.
It is the Great Balls of Fire
developed
song.
by acid. And he's married to a 13-year-old girl. That's some Aleister Crowley Satanist shit.
It is.
Jimmy Page.
But yeah, not that guy.
Jimmy Page Castle. So that's your biggest influence.
No, not that guy.
Rock and roll.
not that guy. But the actor Jerry Lewis.
Oh, the Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, the Jerry Lewis.
The Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, the Jerry Lewis.
The Jerry Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Not Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, not Jerry
Cue
Lee
the music.
Not Jerry Lee Lewis, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Jerry Lewis, the actor.
Exactly. I was thinking Lee's Famous Recipe.
Exactly.
I'm hungry.
But what if that was like one of my biggest like films? Like Jerry Lee Lewis is what really impacted my comedy career.
Like the reason that I perform the way that I when I do the splits on stage, it's because of Great Balls of Fire.
This is the reason why.
It's like I do a rendition of him, but I'm not biting his style. But I mean, I am influenced by
exactly. I am very much influenced by this guy.
And Drake's dad.
But no, Jerry Lewis, the actor. And the original Nutty Professor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that guy,
an old soul.
I am, man. So yeah, I enjoy his like comedy, mostly like his movies because he made situations funny. You know what I mean? Like he can make this whole room funny. Like just by him playing with that and not knowing what to do, you're gonna laugh about 3 to 5 minutes. It's like what the heck is happening right now.
Yeah.
So that's the type of style of comedy I was influenced by. So I like that. I like that
observational.
Guy. Yeah, I love it,
dude. That's my favorite type of comedy. I love doing bits, but I feel like I want to get better at just being able to look at things and making them funny. Yeah. Like, and I'm not trying to like negative self-talk myself, like saying that I'm not funny or I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to brag. Like, so it's like I'm somewhere in the middle of saying that I'm good and not saying that I'm good at it, but it's something that I'm actively practicing to do. It's just like, you can say crowd work but there's got to be, it's improv. Right. There's a lot of different ways to say it, but that is true humor, is finding situational moments where it's like, how could this be going on?
Mhm.
Right? It's like, how could you be from there doing what you do here right now, and I have this idea about it, and it all makes sense? How the fuck is it? Is this a video game? It's like when you make a joke like that, you're like, how did all this line the fuck up?
Yep.
It's so funny, it's so real, and the crowd doesn't even know what's going on. That's why they like laugh. It's almost as a nervousness. It's like, it's hard to describe. Only comedians even know what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Regular people are like, he's trailing off on one of those tangent things.
No,
he's a tandem candy.
No.
He's a candy cane. It's a tangent. He's trailing off.
No. It all makes sense for me, right? Like it all makes sense from it. Everything you're saying, it makes A, B, C, D
As a comic.
Because
I'm talking comic jargon right now.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it makes sense to me too.
That is.
I want to be better at being funny in the moment because he is.
Hey man, no.
I try.
The most realest moment we just had when we all thought that I said Jerry Lee Lewis. That is
Dude,
great.
This is going on Facebook for sure.
Like
this is
Deandre finally admits where he gets his comedy influence.
gets
Jerry Lee Lewis.
goodness gracious. I don't want to get this pulled. Great falsify. It's a great song. Dude, give your social media. Anybody who made it this far, if you watch this show, thank you. I don't know why you watch it, but I love you. Thank you. If you made it this far, you're invested in this man like I am. What's your social media, dude? We should have did it at the beginning.
Oh,
but what is your social media? Is it at Deandre? Don't follow him on Instagram, I think, because
God,
he might have got hacked.
I did. Like it is.
I sent him my PayPal.
It's still.
It's a Philippine
It's
woman.
still It is.
I think so. They talk in broken English when they write me.
They do.
With your name.
Yeah. I think it is a Filipino.
I think it is. She talks in like broken English, like for sure. Like my girl's nail tech.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the girl that does my girl's nails. Like when I hear her talk to each other, when I hear her talk to my girl and tell her she's ready, that's the way that the texts come up. I'm like, I've only heard those words in two places. Does that make sense? Yeah. She's just got like a certain, and I'm like, I don't know for sure, but I imagine that's how she would spell it.
Yeah. That's probably
Does that make sense?
That's probably facts.
Okay.
That's probably facts. But my social media, man, it is Facebook, Deandre Stringer. Just Deandre Stringer. Also, for my Instagram, my new Instagram, it is at Deandre Comedy _. That is it,
at Deandre Comedy. Follow this man. He's at Wiley's Comedy Club tonight. This is a short note. This won't be out for a couple of days, so you guys missed that show. But next time he's there, you're gonna fucking know about it, all right? Because you're gonna follow him on social media. You guys, make sure you follow Cap. Make sure you follow Citywide Studios on Instagram, on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel, Citywide Multimedia. Make sure you guys follow that. Make sure you follow the Morning Woods podcast. Like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. We're launching the Patreon soon. We're gonna have 3 tiers. And like just donating $5 a month to your friend who makes media, it really helps out a lot. If there's 100 of us, if there's 200 of us, if there's 1,000, like those little cents add up, and it's not much to you. For less than Netflix, you can really help out a lot. And if you guys really want to like donate a couple more bucks, we have other tiers where we'll sponsor you, or you guys can sponsor the show. We'll give you shout outs. You know, you guys can suggest content. There's just a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing on my end with the Morning Woods. And we also have some other podcasts coming out of the studio. I know it's like late in the episode to make an announcement, but there's just a lot of things going on over here, guys. So fucking follow all of us. Thank you, Deandre, so much for coming.
No problem.
I appreciate you.
Cap,
thank you, Kat, for being behind the camera today, man. I really appreciate you. We can't do this without you, man. So thank you to you
Cap
and
is the
Citywide.
coolest. Cap.
We can't do it without you.
I know
dude.
y'all can't see him, but Cap is like the most realest white man / black man ever seen in my life.
He's
man.
Behind the scenes, bro,
like,
but he's making big moves.
He is very much that guy, bro. Like I don't know
He's the guy.
He's that guy.
This is the guy. This is my partner, man.
He's that guy.
He's really the guy. We appreciate you, Cap. Thank you for having us in your studio tonight. And dude, thanks for being here once again. You guys, thank you. Follow us. Peace out. Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
That was a fucking fun ass episode.
Hell yeah.